Senator, you were actually on the floor calling for more help and protection for Asian Americans on Monday, the day before the shooting. So is it fair to say you saw this coming?
Well, I think a lot of people have been asking me how I feel about giving these, what they call prescient remarks the day before the mass shooting in Atlanta. And what I actually was trying to point out in giving the remarks is this is not a matter of simply looking forward to events that might happen. This was a matter of looking at events that have already been happening, not just only over the past month or the past year, but really over the past decades, right? So calling attention to this fact that this is an overlooked issue and that racism and violence towards Asian Americans needs more attention.
Greg, it wasn't until last year that Georgia had its own hate crime law. Is there an appetite in the legislature for doing more to fight this kind of violence in Georgia?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because lawmakers have said that they were going to explore doing more, potentially rolling back stand your ground rules and other controversial pieces of legislation that really date back to the Civil War era. Georgia is on the cusp of actually repealing a citizen's arrest law, overhauling a citizen's arrest law that dates back to the 1860s. So there is an appetite to tackle some of these criminal justice barriers. But in terms of imposing new restrictions, new hate crimes provisions, it took basically 2 decades to get to where we were last year when the state finally passed a hate crimes law. So I'm not sure if they're going to go too much further than that right now.
And say, we got to talk voting rights, something you know better than anyone in this state. Talk to us about the bills making their way through the legislature and how they can actually change things for voters in Georgia.
Yeah. There are a number of bills working their way through the legislature that are designed to mute the impact of Georgia's browning, sort of growing, diversifying electorate. We are in the middle of experiencing extreme backlash to what we now know were historic elections in November and January. Republicans are upset about it, and they, along with Republicans in 42 other states, are doing everything in their power to roll back voting rights in our country, and it has to stop.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.